People can log into the website and check us and inquire of anything that you need from Mombasa County, the services that you need. So you log in, www.mombasa.go.ke, and then it will open up the page, and then you will inquire anything that you need. Even when you go to eCitizen, we are registered under that. And I know there are only few counties that are registered on eCitizen, and that's where you get government services. So Mombasa is compliant to that. We use technology so that our people can easily access our services. The services can be like payment of business permit, can be payment of land rates, can be just inquiring of the ECDs and the functions that are devolved to the government.
Okay. Now, just one more question. Do you know if there is a vacancy in the office of a member of parliament? Do you know within what time a by-election should be held?
Three months.
Are you sure?
Yes.
You're sure? Just mention two circumstances under which a by-election would occur in the office of a member of parliament.
When the member of parliament dies.
Yes.
When the member of parliament is incapacitated, either mentally, physically, member of parliament gross misconduct.
Thank you. I just needed two. And thank you very much, and all the best, Juliana.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you so much, Mr. Kimuli. I'll now request Dr. F.S. Abdallah to ask you a few questions.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Juliana, ulikuwa nakusikia wasema habari ya kichochoroni hapa. Pepeta ziko bado na mabuyu?
Sorry?
Pepeta na mabuyu ziko?
Pepeta na mabuyu ziko.
Zapatikana, eh? Karibu.
Asante.
I'm indeed happy and proud of your pride in your county. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I happen to be from there. All right, thank you. Now, Juliana, from your CV and work experience and achievement, you're a very, very, very busy person, and your job description is very demanding because indeed it's very executive. Just, you're overseeing the general administration, oversaw management, promoted, and you said you are implementing the cabinets and all that. And you're so proud of the growth and the development of your county. Then what interests you to come to IEBC?
Okay, thank you. My interest to come to IEBC will be a personal story. Now, back in 2007, when we first had the first post-election violence, I was staying in Mikindani in Mombasa when it happened. And you see, when it happened, we didn't know much about post-election violence. We didn't prepare. We didn't know that something like that can happen. So to me, it was a very disturbing thing. I was a young mother with my small baby, 1 year old. We stayed indoors because outside it was chaotic. There was a lot of vandalism. Things were being destroyed. And as a young mother in the house, we reached a point that we didn't have food supply in the house. At some point, we just stayed the whole day. We just took black tea. There's nothing. We had money. I was a lecturer at the Islamic Teachers Training College with money, but you cannot do anything. So that scenario took me aback to not only being a voter in this country, but to look at the management of elections in this country. So that was my turning point. When I look at elections, I'm not seeing myself just like a voter to go and choose my leader. I look at it in the terms of management, administration, what went wrong, what is it, does it have to repeat again? Are we making Kenya a better place to stay? Are
Thank
we
you.
leaving a legacy to the young people? So it's personal and it's very emotional.
Thank you very much. Now, Juliana, corruption is rampant vice that our country is grappling with. What measures can be put in place at the Commission to mitigate against corruption as a potential risk?
Corruption. First is to enshrine to the people the legislation that have been enacted, the code of conduct. It needs a continuous education so that someone knows the do's and don'ts. Someone knows the repercussion of this vice, the corruption. But I believe more so, on top of that, there is something that is more personal. People need to be ethical in their way of life. So it is a personal thing first, then the rules and the do's and don'ts will follow, and then we become a better society. But because of this gap that is there, the ethical individual responsibility that is not there, we go to administrative enforcement of the laws that are there so that now we curb corruption.
Thank you. Now, in the consolidating strength and efforts of the Commission and the Secretariat is key for the success of the Commission. What initiatives would you put in place which would strengthen this collaboration?
Sorry?
Right. Consolidating the strengths and efforts in the Commission between the Commission and the Secretariat is key for the success of the Commission. I'm sure you've been reading the difference of opinion and strangling here and there, right? What initiatives would you put in place strengthening this collaboration between the Commission and the Secretariat?
Yes, the collaboration between the Secretariat and Commission is very important. Strategies to put in place is first to make the two teams understand their roles and their mandates. Because as I read their strategic plan of 2020-2024 and the Constitution, it is clear that the mandate of the Commission and that of the Secretariat is different in that the Commission deals with policy level and strategy in giving strategic direction and vision, and then oversight of the Secretariat. Then Secretariat do not have those mandates. The Secretariat is the implementing arm of the Commission. They are the administrative arm of the Commission. So these roles do not clash. Now, if both teams will understand their roles, then things are going to be smooth. I'm drawing an example from where I'm coming from. We have the county executive members, and then we have the chief officers. Now, roles are not conflicting because the county executive committee formulates the policies. They are the policy arm of government, while downwards, we are the implementers. So policies are drawn up there. They're given from cabinet through the county secretary. Then the team down here from the county chief officer and the directors will now implement that which has been agreed at the commission. That is very important. Role separation and clarity of the roles. Number two, creating a team. Now, after everyone has understood their roles, creating a team, making everyone feel part and parcel of this commission, that the undoing here is for all of us. And if we do well, all of us win, and it is for the good of the country. So there is need to do a lot of capacity building, professional development, team building, having time and regular meetings whereby there is reporting structure so that when someone deviates from their functions, they're able to be brought back to life. So constant meetings, very key.
Right, thank you. The IBC, in one of the reports, identified high turnover of the staff as one of the challenges that is currently facing. Using your skills and experience, what would you do to address the situation? In one of the reports of the IBC, one of the problems they're facing is the turnaround of the staff. Yeah. How would you use your skills, because you've been in this, to address this issue?
Okay.
Because I'm sure you'll appreciate, then you need to start again. If the staff keep on moving out, then of course it delays the train to move on.
Yes, thank you for that question. Now, staff high turnover from the commission being a problem, it's an indicator of something. And as a commissioner, if I am given this chance, is to not give a blind eye to this issue. There is an underlying problem why people will just want to leave. We'll do an internal study to find out what really is happening to the staff. One, I can just pink something. I say maybe the staff in IBC are facing insecurity problems.
Of the tenor, yeah?
It is insecure. Maybe there is profiling, yeah, because of the kind of political environment sometimes we get ourselves in. Now, that one is very serious, because if the human resource is not comfortable enough to stay in that organization, it means that we'll not have the manpower to implement the strategies and the things that have been put in place. So what I will seek to do is to get down into the problem and seek to find solution. If this solution is through collaboration with other stakeholders, yes, we'll go for it. If it is through legislation and lobbying the National Assembly to enact those draft bills, so we will do it. Because one thing, the staff of an organization is the engine of that organization.
Do you foresee any challenges in putting this together?
Challenges are there in every
What do you
day.
see?
I'm seeing there's a lot of lobbying. It can be personal. For the information of the panel, I've also graduated from Strathmore University with as a coach for executive managers. So what I've learned at Strathmore University is that the managers in an organization, they face or they go through diverse challenges so that their input at their workplace goes down day by day. You can recruit someone this year, but within 3 years, they start doodling in their performance. It's not because they don't have the skills, not because they don't have the knowledge, but something in the environment has really affected them, and you can see it outwardly through their performance. Now, with my coaching skills, I will employ. If I'm busy, I'll talk to the commission. We get a consultant to have one-on-one with our staff and bring the morale back and sort the problem. Because problems are there in day-to-day life, but they're there to be overcome.
Thank you, Juliana. On a lighter note, maybe you should try and convince the counties of Kwale and Kilifi to give you the assignment of bringing back Korosho and Madaf. All the best. Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Dr. Abdallah. I'll now request Mr. Gideon Solonka to ask you a few questions.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Cherera,
Yes.
what is a spoiled ballot?
A spoiled
Ballot.
ballot.
Yes.
Okay, a spoiled ballot is one that has marks that are not on the intended box, intended space for voting. So that one will be spoiled.
Okay, thank you. Define voter suppression in very simple terms.
Voter suppression is making scenarios that will remove the right of a person to go out and vote. For example, what sometimes happens is you find that people's IDs have been taken. So on that voting day, they cannot come to vote. So that is voter suppression.
So who is affected by voter suppression?
Both the voter and the candidate, the best candidate that was supposed to win, because this is manipulation, that someone has manipulated the circumstances to remove the right of this person from going out to vote.
Okay. Now, can you give examples of how voter suppression happens today?
One is what I've mentioned, IDs being taken. Another one...
Taken how? Maybe you can explain.
Taken, maybe someone is doing business or something with a group of young people, yeah, but because they are targeting election is tomorrow or the day after, they take their IDs and they will not return them until after election. So that one is strategically manipulation, because you just don't want these people to go out and vote. Another scenario that happened, there was a time when I was in Mikindani, and there was chaos that night, and the next day we were going out to vote. So by morning, people were scared to go out and vote. Yes, that is voter suppression, because by the time you realize everything is okay and security took over and everything is calm, time has really gone. And you feel like, really, do I go voting in the afternoon? So that is voter suppression.
Okay, two good examples. And can you think of any one other? Okay, let's move on then. What are the possible solutions to voter suppression?
One very key is voter education. Voter education. That this voter should be very aware that what is expected of him on the voting day is to have the ID and to have ABCD for them to be able to come and vote. Voter suppression can be eliminated by showing the people during voter education campaigns the importance of them to go out and vote, what it really means, that they are going to have a say, yeah, in electing their own leaders. And this one gives them the power to question the leader if they don't do what they promised them. So basically is to educate the people, empower them, so that when these scenarios come to play, they will know that come what may, I will not be hindered, I'll go exercise my right.
What about in the case of violence? You just spoke of violence. Was it in Kisauni?
It was in Kindani, Changamwe.
Yeah. Changamwe, yes.
Yes.
So in that case, what will you do so that voters will have that confidence to go and vote?
It is unfortunate that something like that can happen, but good enough. The security personnel were up for the game, and they cleared everything. By the time you are hearing what really happened that night, it was just a gunshot. It was just something that happened at night, and no one was hurt. So basically, all the stakeholders, good enough, they are on the ground. Their ears are on the ground. And during voter education, the people should be aware that everyone and the whole country is on the ground, and nothing is going to happen to stop them from going out to vote. And also we give them numbers. In case of anything, call this number.
Okay.
Yes, a hotline number.
Okay, thank you. Is it possible for a voter to transfer their voter's registration to an electoral area other than the one the voter is registered in? If yes, what is the procedure to be followed?
Yes, it is possible to change your voting place.
So what is the procedure?
You walk into the constituency, IEBC constituency office, where you want to transfer to. Then you explain your need, why you want to transfer, and then they will ask you of all the documents that are needed. You will take your BVR, the fingerprints, and your photo, and all that is going to be done internally. Then that officer will communicate to the officer where you are transferring from, and everything is going to be done. You will appear in that new role on the new geographical area where you want to vote from.
And when is transfer of a vote an offense? When is it prohibited?
Oh, it is prohibited when we have a by-election.
Okay.
Yes.
Only that? Can you, like, for example, mobilize people today that let us troop to this constituency for voter registration when there is when an election is
Ongoing. Close, no. There is a window that is open for voter registration. So when the window is closed,
Yes.
no, it's not possible to transfer your vote.
Okay. Thank you, Madam Cherera, and all the best.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Solonka. Let me request Madam Elizabeth Mayo to ask her questions.
Okay, thank you, Chair. How are you, Madam Juliana?
I'm fine, thank you.
I've heard you speaking. You've really talked about stakeholders a lot in everything you are saying. So what are some of the key issues do you think IEBC should take into consideration while developing strategic partnerships with stakeholders for purposes of voter education?
What are the key strategic considerations for stakeholders during voter education?
Yeah.
There is this stakeholder that is the educator that is accredited by IEBC to help in conducting voter education. Criteria to be used should be someone with integrity, someone with skills and competence to deliver the content, someone who can deliver the content to the audience, because there is need to be very strategic in the kind of audience that we want, especially when we're doing voter education campaigns. Yes, so there are those competences, integrity, the ethos, and then yes, someone with the knowledge and the skills.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. When you talked about your performance at the county, you've been at the county from 2014, and you're still there. You spoke of being a member of Strategic Development Committee, and what you really do is to improve performance at the county, you scan the environment and identify the gaps, am I right?
Yes.
After doing that, you sit as a team, formulate strategies, and oversee implementation. Now I want you to move from the county to the commission. If you are appointed today and you scan the environment and find that the participation of special interest groups in electoral process is wanting, what will you do as a commission?
Thank you, Madam. When we scan the environment and see that participation of the minority group is wanting, we'll quickly do, if time allows, we will quickly do a crash program. And for the crash program in management, I'll call it the RRI approach, the Rapid Result Initiative, whereby you give that team 100 days to perform their duties as quickly as possible to the targeted teams, if they are women, if they are people living with disabilities, that their numbers are down, but on the reality, we know that they are more than what have registered. So we'll do an RRI, and we'll be very targeted to these teams and where they are. Something else that needs to happen is to move to where they are. If it is Mama Mboga, you move to the marketplace. Place your table somewhere there with just an umbrella, kind of a tent, and provided that the work is going to be done. You move to the water points where they are fetching water, and you register them from there. So I will employ strategies that are really down to earth, but are very productive by the end of the day.
Okay, thank you. Still on Mombasa County, you've told us Mombasa County is county number 1, the best county in the country. We still need to know why you think so. That is good. You are proud of your county. At the county, you helped in automating the county attorney's legal services. I'm right, eh?
Yes.
And because of COVID-19, because you wanted business continuity.
Yes.
If appointed as commissioner, what do you think you will do to ensure business continuity, especially on voter education during this pandemic?
Oh, thank you. This pandemic has given us protocols that limit the number of people you can sensitize at a particular time in a given hall. So we will employ, I will propose to employ automated methods, yes, in that we will have more of the media, more of usage of the social media platforms. We get airtime to showcase and to educate people on the national platforms, the TVs. Then we'll go to social media, the Twitters, the Facebook, and even have some clips in the YouTube. But you see, this will be limited to a particular kind of group that can access e-services. For the people down there that they cannot access these services, we will still go out there and have several meetings in different locations. Like point A, we are meeting 100 people according to the protocols. Another team is meeting another different team at the same time concurrently, so that we follow the protocols that have been laid down, but still achieve our mandate. But we will really revamp the social media platform. Yes, and very targeted. One thing about social media is that if you want to trend, to make something trend, you have to be strategic on the time that you make this information out. You cannot trend something. For example, in Mombasa, we usually have this silent policy that if the national government is doing something major, it will take the day. So that day we will not put our information out because it will be wastage of airtime. So we let 3 days pass, then now we scan the environment again and then see that now it is conducive for us to put our information out. So that way you are not overdosing your audience with information, that this information from the national government, which is very important, and you're also giving you another kind of information down there, the county, it will not work. So being strategic and scanning environment is very important, and that is what I've been doing day to day.
Okay, thank you. IEBC as a commission deals with many stakeholders, and each and every stakeholder has got different expectations. How will you manage as a commissioner to address the different expectations from the various stakeholders?
Thank you, Madam. The expectation from stakeholders are not out of the box. They are not far-fetched. They are expectations that are legit, and they need to be met by the IEBC. And also, as IEBC, it is a give and take. we also expect something from these stakeholders. As much as they expect something from the IEBC, we also expect something from them. So having sensitization, coming into meetings and getting to know these expectations that they expect us to do A and as we expect you to do B, so that we are on the same playing field. We have a compromise. If something that it is far-fetched cannot be implemented at that particular time, maybe later on, we have a platform to engage and to say the challenges where they are. So it is a give and take. It is about compromising. It is about understanding each stakeholder so that we can agree with them that for the purpose of this election, these are the parameters that we can deliver. And then we also give our expectations to the stakeholder, for example, to the electorate, that as we do this, we expect you to collaborate on your part, so that now by the end of the day, we are all on the same playing field and we achieve our mandate.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Juliana, you're aware that as you try to meet the expectation of various stakeholders, some stakeholders can try to capture whatever IBC is supposed to do. They want to control. How will you deal with this?
Yes, some stakeholders are really bulldozing. So what I'll propose is to have parameters that are clearly stipulated. Yeah, we say it as it is. You know, if you hide your cards under, they will now be very suspicious. But when you put it on the table and you say, until this part, the rest is the mandate of the IEBC, yeah? Like when you go to a hotel, you say, staff, customers are not allowed past this. So it is all about putting things on the table as they are. And if they have legal backing, yes, they'll give legitimate and you'll be able to stop the stakeholders to come through to that other level. One thing I believe is that a commission that is operating as a team will be able to have one issue agreed before it is taken out there. So as much as an issue has not been deliberated and agreed upon, it is not something to be spoken about out there, really, because we will all be talking from our point of views and our philosophies. So that should be a rule that a team, a board, they have things that are not ready to be spoken out because they're still on the table to be deliberated upon. But once they've been agreed upon, we have one person that is mandated to be the spokesperson of the commission. If not one of the commissioners, then they get someone who will be the spokesperson of the commission, and being that face that if you want to get anything on the press brief, it will be this guy that will go out there to speak.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. You spoke of how you handled COVID-19 impact at the county.
Yes.
And you ensured there was business continuity. Yes. Yeah? So from February 21st, 2020 until June 21st, 2021, at least 78 countries and territories across the globe have decided to postpone national and subnational election due to COVID-19. This is the information we have. You can get it from the internet, out of which at least 41 countries and territories have decided to postpone national elections and referendums. Is that a viable option in the Kenyan context, according to you?
Yes, it's a very viable option because life comes first. Elections can wait, but life comes first. So if we get direction from the Ministry of Health, looking at the trends, and maybe there is the mortality rate is high, and they are advising that we should stop activities. My view is life is more important, and without these people, the electorate will never have an election. So for me, we will pause and wait and agree to take the measures that the Ministry of Health will have proposed, and until the trend goes down, yes, then we'll be able to go about our normal duties. We've seen scenarios in India, and it's not something that we'll want to see because we insisted to do elections.
Okay, okay. So, Juliana, taking into account that we only have less than 13 months to the general election 2022, and according to you, elections should be postponed, or you still feel it should be postponed, or you feel 13 months is reasonable enough to assess the position?
Thank you. I said that it can be postponed if life is threatened. But if that one aside, then we'll have to be abiding to the law. And our first law is the Constitution 2010, that elections are held after every 5 years. So even if the Commission will have recruited 13 months to elections, we'll do our best. We'll crash program, yes, RRIs. We'll employ all the methodologies that are there to ensure that this constitutional mandate has been accomplished.
So if we are to continue with the preparation for election in line with the Constitution, what measures will you put in place to ensure that elections are done in 2022 and the electoral all stakeholders are taken care of?
I've been checking what is happening, and the 3 commissioners that are there have already put out a roadmap and a plan towards 2022. Some of the things have been continuous registration. Some of the things have been continuous voter education. I remember the other month they were even in Mombasa doing the 1-week annual voter education. So it's not that things have not been, preparation stage has not started. It has started. So at the point when we are successful and we are taken in, we will gel and ensure that this mandate is accomplished. Of course, some of the things will have to be done much faster. We'll employ the Rapid Result Initiative. We'll need be, we can employ even more manpower so that we can do things faster and achieve the very best with the minimum time that we have. I believe it is still possible.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Now, this one I want to focus on you as a lady. Yeah? It has been said that very few women actually opt for elective positions, and there are some barriers preventing them from effectively participating in the electoral process. As a lady from county number 1, why are you not thinking of vying to be the governor of county number 1? You only want to be a commissioner at IEBC.
Okay, it is true that ladies shy away from elective positions, but I think this is cultural. It is cultural because even in Mombasa we have 3 elected members of county assembly. Elected, yes, women, out of 30. So you see, percentage-wise, it's still, we are really not doing much. But the barriers that are there is more of culture. Even if you offer yourself as a candidate, the culture, the stereotyping that is there, you'll find that people will just go and vote for their fellow men. And as much as you can see that women are the ones that go out to vote, but they'll vote for a man. So it is more cultural. It will take some time to break it. That's why if there is opportunity to help the women to come up more and to kill these barriers, which are deeply rooted in their community, it will be a good thing to be done. Policies can be enacted, and we have inclusiveness and nomination slots as it is that they are given to the women, youths, and the people living with disability. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Juliana. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'll now request the Vice Chair to ask a few questions.
Yeah, thank you, Juliana. Juliana, the position we are recruiting for, and which you have applied for, is a position of leadership. Actually, leadership at the highest level. To you, who is a leader? In your eyes and in your perspective, who is a leader that would qualify to occupy that position of the Commissioner of IEBC? What kind of person?
Okay. A leader is someone who knows the vision, who knows where we are going and can make people follow him to the destination. That's a leader. In my class as a SLDP student in the Kenya School of Government, we say there's a difference between a manager and a leader. A manager will seek to do things the way they are stipulated, but a leader will do what is right.
What qualities define a leader? Anybody with a vision?
Yes, someone with a vision, someone who has integrity, someone who is foresighted, someone who has good communication skills, someone who is qualifies in our integrity thresholds that we put in this country. Someone who is concerned about sustainable development of this country. That is a leader.
This term integrity, people use it, integrity everywhere, integrity. But what is integrity to you? What is integrity?
Integrity is saying one thing and you don't do the next. You stand by your word. Yeah. When you mean to do A, you will not hide and do B instead. So integrity is being true to yourself, being true to what you do, and delivering that which is expected of you.
In your professional life, have you ever been in a situation where your integrity has been challenged because of a decision you made or an action or that came out of your work? Have you been in a situation where your integrity is challenged?
No.
None. Thank you. You mentioned, I go back to your nice story about how you ended up thinking of applying for the commission, your experience, your personal experience, painful experience, some time back. Now, in your own view, what vision do you have for electoral democracy in Kenya? How we manage our electoral democracy and our democratic environment? Given that experience, what kind of Kenya do you want to see? And what kind of Kenya would you want to take to the commission?
My vision in the commission is to see a credible electoral management body, the commission. The commission as it is a trusted body. I've looked at the strategic plans, the things that have been enshrined there. Look back at the reforms that have been done, the legal reforms. It's amazing. And the last election, as I check, we had so many litigations going to the court, but good enough, very few proceeded to the next level. What does it tell us? It tells us that the things that people took to court did not hold water, did not have sufficient evidence, were just hearsay. So it shows us that the commission has done something commendable to bring back the trust. But out there, the Mwananchi does not know. Mwananchi does not know. These things are enshrined in the website, IEBC website, and unless you are inquisitive to go and check, you will see these things. So what I'm bringing on the table is to brand IEBC as a credible electoral management body that can handle elections very credibly, that is geared and has strategies to ensure that democracy in Kenya has been enshrined. We are a multi-party country, that everyone has been given fair and we call it free and fair election, has been elected fairly, and there's no one who feels like it was not credible. So that is my vision, that these young people, they will never see, it will not be an issue that we are going into election and you have panic attacks that, okay, this time round, are we prepared? What is going to happen? So I'm looking forward to such a body that it will be just seamless and flawless.
Actually, coming to that, you just mentioned youth, young people. Now, there's quite an amount of voter apathy among the youth in this country for various reasons. Some of them you have mentioned to do with the voting process and all that. There's a serious amount of voter apathy among the youth. What would you do if you were a commissioner to get youth, Kenyan youth, to participate in the electoral process, to be able to elect their leaders?
The youths are a very vibrant team, and they just need to be educated. They just need to be given the relevance of election and them participating in election. You find that even in campaigns, the bigger chunk of people are the youths. While they go out in those meetings for campaign, but they will not come and vote. There's something wrong. So my approach will be that we get them while they're still in schools, while they're still at the universities. And this one is pumped again and again. Yeah, good enough, the system of education, we now elect our leaders. It is no longer the prefect that is elected by the teacher. The students elect their own. And that is a good practice that we are trying to inculcate when they are at the fourth year in high school. I think voter education should also begin with them, so that now we usher them into this outside world that they are prepared to exercise their rights to vote.
Finally, Juliana, you mentioned, use the word gelling in the commission. Now imagine this situation today, tomorrow you are appointed as a commissioner. You get in there and the four of you new commissioners find a very, very hostile environment from those who are already there. They are not willing to cooperate with you. They are not willing to share information. And yet, you have to work as a commission and deliver an election within a very short time. What would you do?
Now, if I get into a neat team and they are closed up and they don't want to give information, the best thing is what I'll do is I'll check what is expected in my transition. I believe there is something we call induction, that I'll be inducted, I'll be told the things I'm expected to be given, the information I need to have on my fingertips, and I will seek to know who is this person that needs to give me this information. Yes, and this is not something that is far-fetched. It is something very open. So I'll have all the rights to go and approach this person to give me the information that I am required to have so that I can deliver on my mandate. But I will still insist that teamwork is fundamental key. So anytime that we are in the meeting, I will sneak in that agenda of working as a team.
Juliana, thank you.
Thank you, Vice Chair. I'll now request Reverend Father Mutie to ask a few questions.
Thank you, Chair. Madam Juliana, I wish to take you through a few questions. I'll begin with your CV, where you alluded to the fact that you have promoted the national values and principles of governance in the different departments that you've worked. What do you mean by this?
Oh, what I mean is I was a campaigner of ethics in the county, whereby whatever we do, we make sure that it has the components of good governance. So it is already enshrined that whatever we do, we take it out for public participation. We go and tell the people what the county government has in store for them. We get their views, and their views are not just on paper. We come and enshrine into the skeleton that is already there. So we go out, get to hear them, and that is public participation. There is inclusion that is very key in our county, whereby we have many staff that have been employed that are people living with disability. So since I was chief officer in the executive for the first term of devolution, where we didn't have structures and everything else, I spearheaded the construction of the office of the governor, whereby it is compliant, PWD compliant. We have the ramps. Even at our courts, our Mombasa County courts, we didn't have the ramps. I have implemented it just last year. We put the ramp so that to facilitate access to people who are living with disability. Something else that we have done, we have included in our special programs, we have what we call the Governor's Christmas Tree. I am a co-chairperson together with a bishop in Mombasa. We have the Mombasa Pastors Fellowship, whereby their chair and me, we chair that Governor's Christmas Tree. The essence of it is to acknowledge that we are people of different religious backgrounds and we celebrate our religious festivities. So during Christmas, we light up the Christmas tree and we celebrate together. Even our Muslims, brothers and sisters come, they attend, and that one has brought cohesiveness. So the key thing in good governance there is cohesion, that we have now enshrined and made it so practical, and it is an annual thing. When our Muslims brothers are on their fasting, the Ramadan, we also have an Eid Baraza. And a colleague of mine chairs together with the Islamic sheikhs. They sit, they have committees, and they prepare that occasion whereby we are also invited and we celebrate with them. So that is cohesion, and it is something that we have really done very well.
Right. Allow me also to ask you, Madam Juliana, to identify two of the values, of these values and principles, and how you would play a key role in ensuring that if you become commissioner at IEBC, you would promote them.
I will promote integrity in the operations of the commission. As I alluded and I said that whatever has not been agreed upon by the commissioners is not something to be discussed out there. So that one will increase the integrity, the perception that people have about IEBC, so that what we say is what we mean and it is what is going to be implemented. So that I'll ensure checks and balances at that policy level, that it's no longer business as usual, to brand IEBC so that we are accepted and we are this body that is accountable to what we say. That is one of the values I will really go for, and also put my foot into the communication bit of it, what is it that the people out there are perceiving about the commission, and how do we change this perception so that by the time we are for voting, we are ready and up to the game. Another thing is you said too?
Okay.
Inclusion.
Yeah, carry on.
Inclusion. Yes, I am a people's person. I work well with people from different backgrounds and different religious backgrounds and philosophies. So I will enshrine the principle of inclusion, that as a commission we should be very targeted strategically to ensure that each and every person who is eligible to participate in an election is not left out. So the administrative wing that is in charge of this mandate will oversee to it to ensure that there is inclusiveness, and even how we employ the clerks, the people that help us during polling, during the voting day. Yeah, I will ensure that we have inclusiveness. We find that there are people who are living with disabilities, but they are able to do one or two things. It will be a nice thing to see that we have employed several of them, that during when even we have these international observers coming to observe our election, and they see such a scenario, I think it will be so fulfilling. Yes, thank you.
Thank you. Allow me to ask you, this would be more personal, or what about yourself. What would you do as a person if you saw a fellow commissioner commit an illegal act if you were to be appointed a commissioner at IEBC? Your fellow commissioner does something illegal. What would you do?
I see that I've seen them doing something illegal. Yes, I will follow what has been stipulated by the Code of Conduct for the commissioners. I will talk to this person and report the matter.
Report where?
In our meetings, in our plenary meetings, that this and this is happening. Yes, I'll follow the procedures that have been laid down according to the law prescribed. Yes, I'll not keep quiet.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Madam Juliana.
Thank you so much, Reverend Father. Juliana, allow me to ask you a general question. It's important to know what the slogan is for the institution that you have applied to join. So what is the slogan for the IEBC?
The word IEBC?
For the IEBC, I know you said you read the strategic plan.
Yes.
They have a slogan on their symbol. Let me share with you. It is your vote, your future. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I've seen it.
Okay. So with that, we've come to the end of your oral interview. Maybe I can invite you at this point in time to make some remarks to the panel, if you wish to do so.
I want to register my appreciation to the panel and to every one of you. First, it is a privilege to come to such kind of interviews, and also I really had to block my mind thinking that it is live. So I've really tried to be down here to look at you and to be able to answer. I think this is an experience that anyone will love to get into. Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you. And also, Juliana, on behalf of the panel and on behalf of Kenyans, we also want to appreciate you for expressing the interest to serve this country in the position of an IEBC commissioner. We wish you well. Now I'll ask a member of the Secretariat to escort you. Please ensure you get your original documents and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.
We'll take a break now until 2 o'clock when we resume for the next interview.